Hello there guys, and welcome to a pretty quick video. So I was trying to mess around with emulation on my server. Well, as you guys know, it's a Node Xeon. It's my 346. I've shown it like a couple times on YouTube, and let's just say it's kind of old. It's from 2006. There's no VTX instructions, so it cannot virtualize, but it can emulate. So I was trying uh, different kind of software that could actually let me emulate something recent with decent performance, and I ended up getting back to VirtualBox after 4 years, because like I made the transition to VMware back when I had an i5 laptop as my main lab. Now I have an i7, but I kind of wanted a real server, so to say. It's nowhere as powerful as my main computer. Of course, it does not even compare, but I kind of wanted to have a sort of hands-on experience with bare metal, even if it's not quite the most updated experience, because it's sold hardware, but still it's enterprise, it's bare metal, and it's a server. So I think it counts. The experience counts because, I mean, Ethernet ports are still Ethernet ports. Power supplies are still power supplies. ECC RAM, even though the current ones are far more modern, they are still ECC RAM. It's the DDR4 now, but ECC still, it's RAM. Mobile still look pretty much the same. All the capacitors. Hard drives went from SCSI, which are the ones I have, to like SAS and SSD, stuff like that. But still, it's a hard drive, it's storage. Now, okay, it's flash drive now, NVMe, but still, it's storage. So things are kind of the same still, and it can run reasonably updated software. Could we say that? Like Windows Server 2012. I mean, it still has support, and it can run any Linux, I imagine. So pretty decent. It's not like wow, latest and greatest, but it does the trick. It works, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. If you ignore the power bill, it's actually a fun experience. It's a fun ride. But if you imagine that every hour that it's on, it's gonna cost you a kidney, it kind of worries me a little bit. But I try not to think much about it. I try to focus on the fun part, the overall experience of actually having a server. I mean, of course, it's no big deal, pretty much because it's old as well. Even my phone has got more processing power than this server, probably. Never compared, but I would actually say it has more power, more raw power. But still, it's enterprise. It's fun. It's made to be on 24/7. It's made to take the load, so you can actually stress it out. And I always wanted to have a second computer for stuff. Let's say sitting open source stuff on Qubit torrent, stuff like that. And also game servers, which I always wanted to run, like Rust, Daisy. I always wanted to have my own dedicated server. And of course I can run that on my very PC as well simultaneously, but that would limit my streaming capabilities, because that would use a half of my CPU and the other half would be used by the game itself. So I would have no CPU left for streaming. That's an issue, because I love to stream my fun with my friends. So that was quite one of the main concerns, and that's mostly the reason why I have bought a second one. And I'm having a lot of fun, because then I can offload those minor things like, oh, screen went Okay, so Windows 10 is just turning the screen off even when I'm recording. That's very cool. Of course it's not. But hey, anyway, so I wanted to have some fun with Windows Server 2012 again for, the old time's sake. I was actually trying to get 7410, I think, certificate, MCSA. Yeah, is it even MCSA? I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but I went to public relations, so it's not my thing anymore. But still, it feels familiar. It brings back some memories, so why not? I could install like Linux instead of Windows, but I was like, for no time's sake, let's go with Windows, even though, like, I know the Windows server is not an option anymore. Like, for enterprise, just go with Linux. I mean, both of my servers, which are not dedicated, of course, I don't own them. I rent them. They run Linux. For my websites, for my projects alike, they're all on Linux. But still, I wanted to bring back some memories, and so I went with Windows 2012, but that does not mean I'm gonna get away from Linux. No. So I was finding a way to actually run Linux and Windows simultaneously on the very old server. So I got more RAM a few weeks ago. It's coming. It might come like next month. I don't know, because our postal service is actually pretty slow, so it depends on my luck, but I'm getting the memory at some point. I'm gonna ramp it up to 8 gigs. It's not a lot, but like I can run a couple Linux VMs, and that's what matters. It's not like, oh, it's gonna be my virtualization station, look at that, the future right there, ESXi. Nah, not quite. It's gonna run just like 3 VMs at most. I mean, that's what the CPU can handle, I imagine. So, anyway, let's go on with the install. Package manager. I'm in Brazil, so let's change that. Yeah, great. So, no, let's keep it blank. It's actually pretty fast, all things considered, given it's not virtualization by emulation. And CPU is doing fine. It's using all the cores, which is great. QEMU, if that's even how you spell it, was using just one core, 100%, and that was pretty slow. It took me 17 hours to install Linux, and it did not work afterwards. So I spent 17 hours of my life installing, and it did not boot. So I was very mad, and I got now back to VirtualBox. Because VMware Workstation did not work either, so I had no other way around, so I had to go back to VirtualBox, which is not quite my favorite for virtualization, but it might as well be now. When it comes to like old servers, it might be an actual option, because if you have no VTX, you could either go with QEMU, which is slow, and VirtualBox. That's it. That's all you got. Because KVM needs VTX. QEMU with the KVM option needs VTX as well. So the only way to escape from that limitation, is VirtualBox. I mean, that's not a big problem in 2018, because like most like first world countries have like plenty of servers around selling for cheap that do support a VTX and have 4 cores or even more, like 8 cores for like $100, $200, and that can run ESXi 6.7, which is up to date. It could run Hyper-V on Windows Server 2019, Windows Server 2016. But if by any chance you're running an old server, or just for old time's sake you're running an old server and you want to actually run some VMs, go with VirtualBox, because apparently it works. I'm not sure. I'm installing the system. It's my first go. I was going to record from the very beginning, but I was not sure about how fast it was going to be. It's actually decently fast. It's not like, wow, ninja, but it works. So No, I don't want to participate. It was very, very slow at first, but I might know why that happened actually, because the ISO file was on a different drive, so maybe it was getting the image to the main drive so that it could load. That's my best bet. Because like even the CPU was operating at like 80%, and now it's at 4%, as you can see. It's barely working. So something happened in this meantime, which I don't quite know why, but it was very slow at first. I was like, holy shit, so it's not even better than QEMU. And then out of the blue, it just began to work, which I was like, seriously? Is it really gonna work? Is it really gonna become an alt way to actually have some VMs running? So yeah, it turns out it is, and it might come in handy, you know, because I can't run VMs all the time on my main system, even though it's got the power, it's got the RAM, it's got the disk space, but I game on it, so I can't be gaming and running VMs. I mean, I can, but it's gonna be a lot of strain on the CPU. There's not gonna be enough RAM because I play like flight simulators that take a lot of RAM. Like X-Plane is gonna take like 16 plus page file, 20 plus gigs of page files. So no, it's not gonna work. And also, my tiles and most stuff for X-Plane are on the same drive that my VMs are stored. So that's gonna bottleneck the VMs. So that's pretty much why. Anyway, no desktop environment, of course. Mostly because this bare metal thingy has got pretty much no graphics card. I mean, it's got, but it doesn't work with Windows servers, so I pretty much have no graphics card at this point. So, desktop environments, no. And also, why do we need desktop environment for Linux anyway? It's pointless. So, yeah, we're gonna go with a web server. And also SSH, fair enough. Yeah, we could go with standard. Nah, I don't think I need that. Standard system stuff, nah, I don't need that at all. So we can just go on, and hopefully it's gonna be as fast as the rest. So yeah, as you can see, it's not the most powerful system ever, but it was pretty cheap, so why not? I mean, it was less than an entry-level phone, so why not? I mean, it's one of those things that, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, deep inside, you know, it's pretty much useless, spec-wise, but on the other hand, it's kind of cool. It's a kind of something that I don't need that, but I need that, you know? It's kind of hard to explain, but deep inside, you know, it's outdated. It's not suitable for like a company. It's not suitable for a production environment. But deep inside, you kind of want that in your house. You want to have that, you know. Want to look at my server? I've got this eServer xSeries 346 from fucking 2006, and it's fancy. It's something cool. You know, it's obnoxious. It's big. It's noisy at times when it's hot. But when it's not hot, it's kind of okay. I mean, you can hear it. You can notice that there's a server running there, but you can actually manage. I mean, you can talk in the room. You can sleep in the same room, which is very important. And also, it still holds up pretty well for some things. Of course, not for everything, but let's just say it runs game servers pretty decently. I mean, it runs DayZ servers, which is pretty demanding actually. It runs CS:GO. It runs Rust. Not a game itself. The servers, I mean. It runs any sort of web servers. Of course, like it can't handle like lots of users at the same time, lots of visitors. But for a small website, for a medium website, I think it can handle it. I've never actually hosted a website on it, but I'm pretty sure it does hold up because I had a worse one, a VPS, which was far worse, and it held up to like around 80, 90 people. So it's decent, you know. It's not like, wow, high class stuff, but yo, it surely works. It functions. That's what matters. As long as it functions, it's cool. So yeah, I mean, if your system cannot cope with Hyper-V, why not you just go with VirtualBox? Of course, it cannot run 64-bit OSs, which is a bit of a shame, but hey, i386 still kicks ass. I mean, it does not, but, you know, what can you do? I mean, you want to run VMs, you can't run 64-bit, you have to run 32-bit. So, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. As long as it works, it works. So, it's working, right? It seems to be working. I have not completed the install, but it's not taking 17 hours like QEMU took. So that's actually a pretty convincing sign that it's functioning. And given that my server's got 4 network cards, I can actually have a dedicated network card for the VM, which is amazing. I mean, my laptop doesn't have a spare network card that I could actually use as a spare, so that's gonna be pretty handy later on. Not now, but later on, when, well, I'd better not talk about it. I have something in mind, plans for the future. I'd rather not mention, but you know, I have something in mind, and that could come in handy at some point. But still. And, well, back to the server talk. I kinda got into it for real, into bare metal. I mean, I'm really digging that kind of stuff, you know? I mean, I always wanted to have a server, but could never afford it. And then I found this one for a very decent price tag, and I was like, I gotta get it, because usually for this tag I could get a server, of course, but without drives, without RAM, without power supplies, with just one power supply. And redundancy is important. I mean, even though I'm not running anything mission critical here, it's nice to have a spare one in case one fails, you know. And it's kind of fancy at the same time, you know. But like usually I would find servers with 1 gig of RAM, no drives, 1 power supply, no cables, so you would have to buy the cable for a power supply as well, and that was it. So you had to buy the drives, which are not cheap. Ultra SCSI drives are not cheap. I mean, they are cheap, but they're comparable with 1 terabyte SATA drives. So for 146.8 gigs, you could get a 1 terabyte drive. So it's not cheap at all. It's not something that I would actually go around buying because it's a lot of money. It's not worth it. You could just get yourself a 1 terabyte drive and build a NAS or something. So nope, it's not a great choice. For that matter, for that. But if it comes with the drives, why not? I mean, why not you take the risk and try something different? So I did that, you know. I decided to try something different for once in my life, and I got it, and no regrets so far. I mean, I've been running my game servers just fine. I've been messing around with Windows Server a lot more than I imagined, because, you know, all network cards, all the possibilities, all the things I could not do before, even though I could emulate network cards, but, you know, it's definitely not the same thing. Having physical ones with cables that you can actually neck yourself. If things go wrong, you can just, you know, get that over your neck and all your problems are gone. No more servers, no more network issues, no more pain, no more gain. You're just gone. But, oh, seems like it's stuck. It might be loading. I can see the drives. As you can see, the system doesn't have direct access to the drives, so we can't quite see if it's trying to read the drives, but probably it's what's going on here, I imagine, because the CPU is not spiking up. It's stuck at solid 29%, 30%, it's around that. Not a lot of network activity as well, so it might be just that. RAM usage also not high. I wish I could see the disk activity actually. Would be fun to know what's going on under the hood, but the only actual way would be just staring at the server, which it's not pointing towards me, so I can't see the drive light. So yeah, we can just hope now. But yeah, it's probably like doing the first time setup thingy or whatever. I really don't know what's going on. It's a matter of waiting, I suppose. Oh, that was a spike. One of the cores spiked up for half a second, and then it went back. I find it funny though, the handle numbers. My actual one got like 20 times as much in threads, and you know, all of that. It's funny. Virtualization not capable. Joke's on you, Microsoft. Here I am virtualizing, sort of. It's more like emulation, but still. Oh, we could say virtualization. It's a VM. It doesn't. It's still virtual. You know, it's still something that is not physical. So, yeah, let's just call it virtualization. So, joke's on you, Microsoft. It's capable, sort of, because we're stuck and hopeless. So capture, and yeah, it seems to be stuck. Gracious. No, the drive lights are on apparently. Let me take a look at that. Oh, something is not quite. Is it a control? Oh no. All right, so cursor is gone. How? That ain't good. That ain't good. That ain't good. I'm having an issue. Oh, there you go. So we have a cursor back, and we can finally check if is there anything going on here. Oh, I know what could be the reason there. Keyboard is not captured. Bridge adapter, no USB. It has connection, but it's not showing anything at all. So I would say virtual screen. Can we change that? Oh, we can resize. There's scale factor. There's Windows size devices. Can we take the disk off? And the disk is off. We could try shut down. Where is the key to just shut it down? Close. Yeah, maybe you should close. Save. Power off the VM. Yeah, we should just power off and try again. Because start. Where's the option to restart though? I'm missing that. I'm really missing that feature. Alright. Let's not get stuck, please. Please. Come on, Linux. Oh, so it seems to be working now. Is it working? Is it working? I don't think so. So I don't know if his CPU is doing something, but apparently our system's not functional. It's like stuck. There's this ACPI shutdown, guest additions, network USB shared folders. You should just close. Save the VM state. Could power off the VM. Alright, I gotta try and figure out what's wrong here. Settings. Disk encryption advanced. Oh, here's why. Wrong OS. That could be it. That could be it. Shared clipboard system. It's got one CPU. Execution cap 100%. NX display. Remote display video capture. Video memory. That's exactly the amount I got. VRAM controller. There you are. Format, VDI, Windows sound, and Bridget adapter. Oh, you can hook up 4 adapters. Nice. USB. Oh my god, my server's starting to get loud. It's probably because it's getting hotter, surprisingly. Global tools, settings. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're gonna get stuck now. For God's sake, no. Okay, so let's try advanced options. Maybe we can actually give recovery mode. Yeah, recovery mode could work. Let's just take a look at that. So it's gonna load the RAM disk, and it takes us back to this useless screen. So no luck at all. That's a big shame. That's a big shame. What is going on? Oh, there you go. Now we have life. Kinda. I wouldn't say like full-blown live, but it's starting to do something. Stuck again. Well, it's actually way harder than I thought it would be. I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a walk in the park. We just gotta install the system, and then it's gonna restart, and we're gonna be able to browse. But not quite. I wonder if it's actually VirtualBox is using 29% of my CPU, or if it's something else. Maybe it could be something else. Yeah, it is. It's VirtualBox. And it's stuck. Maybe I could try with a different OS at some point. Because honestly, it doesn't look promising at all. It's stuck. What else can I say? It's friggin' stuck, guys. So I might have to figure that out at some point, and that's the video, I guess. It was gonna be longer than that. We were gonna have some fun with Debian, but apparently it doesn't want to work. So does it really work? Does VirtualBox actually works as an alternate way to virtualize on an old IBM 346? I'm not sure if I can say so. I mean, it did boot to the system. It did let us do something at some point. It did let us install the system, but it ain't going anywhere now. I don't know if it's trying to figure out the hardware, if it's trying to do any sort of configuration, which could as well be why it's stuck, but honestly, I don't think so. It's probably just not compatible. It's probably broken just like it was with Kimu. It's hard to spell that, but anyway, I'm a little sad. That was very frustrating. But what now? Gotta try a different OS at some point and see if it helps. But it doesn't seem like that. It doesn't look promising at all. If you take a look at that, it's just plainly broken. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I could be wrong, because there's CPU activity, so maybe it's just something going on that I don't know. Maybe different. Because I never like emulated x86 for recent OSs, just for old stuff like Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000. So for Debian, brand new OS from 2018, I wouldn't say so. It's So it's literally the first time doing that without VTX, and it's stuck. That's a fact. It's not going anywhere. Close, reset all warnings, power off the VM. Yeah, we could power it off. And start it again. Auto capture keyboard. Boot device. Great. So let's see advanced options. Maybe grub's broken? Yeah, not likely, but it could be. I mean, there's always a chance the grub could be actually gone. You know what? I might try something different. That could actually work, by the way. I have an old Ubuntu CD, which could possibly be the key. And, you know, should tell us if it's working or not. It would install pretty quick, and also it would probably run on this kind of hardware, so could be a decent diagnostic, but guess that's something for part 2. We're gonna figure it out together, and fingers crossed it's just a minor issue, and you know, we'll be able to fix it and use Windows the 246, I mean, as a backup virtualization system when we're playing stuff, you know. Then I could offload it to Windows Server. So see you guys soon, and goodbye. Take care, and feel free to leave a comment down below. You know, feedback's always important. I love feedback, so y'all take care, my dudes. Adios.